Hey, thanks for joining the Screaming Podcast Network. And we have a special guest today. Ryan, you want to say hello?
Yeah, this is Ryan Cavalline from Legend Hunter Films. I appreciate you having me on the podcast today.
Definitely, I'm glad to have you on. Any particular films?
Talk about film, micro budget filmmaking. I can go on for hours about our films. That's no problem. So,
Hey, that's definitely my up my alley.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we can hit the old stuff to the new stuff and filmmaking in general. Whatever you'd like to talk about.
Sure, let's talk about some of your newer stuff you got.
This year alone, released two films. One called Haunted America, which is a documentary film, which I was working on for like almost 10 years, and we finally finished that. And then we also released Myths and Mutants Part 2, which is a grindhouse double feature, kind of in the style of the Quentin Tarantino grindhouse film, like a double feature. And that we just released. It's kind of streaming, and it's not fully out streaming, but a lot of our stuff you can see on Tubi or Blood Screen TV. That's a free app, which is really cool. Of course, the hard copies are available off our website. So those are the two films we just released this year, and then currently we're working on 13 Steps to Hell, which is a horror anthology film, kind of in the style of Creepshow, which is something I always wanted to do. And years ago, I that's how I started filmmaking, was anthology films, and I had all these short films. I'm like, we should just reshoot these and make them new and fresh again. So we dove into that in February, and we're still shooting shorts. I don't know what the problem is, that we were originally only going to do 5 shorts and ended up to 13, and we still have like 5 more we want to shoot. So it might just end up being 2 films at this point. So, but it's been fun this year.
I love anthologies. Like one of my favorites is Creepshow.
Oh God, yeah, Creepshow 1 and 2 are the other ones they tried, but but they're so nice to film because like you can set them up like in a day or two and have most of it shot. So it's so much easier than a complete feature, which you try to shoot 8 days or 5 or how many days you need in a row. With the short films, you could do like a weekend and have one done, which is nice.
So what got you started into filmmaking?
Oh boy, I had the love of film since I was a kid. It's horror movies and action films and adventure films, and I didn't really start filmmaking until I was like in high school, and my parents were cool enough and bought me a VHS camera. That's how old I am. There were VHS cameras around, and we started making these backyard horror films. And back then, a lot of the universities didn't have much for like filmmaking, but I went to Edinburgh University, which is up near Erie, Pennsylvania, and they had a film program, and I went through most of that, and I didn't graduate with a film degree only because at the time that was when like you had the Kevin Smiths and the Robert Rodriguez's were independent filmmakers saying you don't need film school, you can do it yourself. So I just kept kind of making movies on the side, and we just kept making them, and I never really thought of myself as a filmmaker until we got distribution. Then we thought, yeah, now we're big time. We have a movie in distribution, right? Sky's the limit now. And that wasn't the case, but we were happy to have a movie in distribution at that point.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
it's been a fun
how
ride.
did you make a decision to do like the first film you ever made?
At the time, I really bugged a lot of distribution companies, and I was always asking them questions like, what's selling right now, what would work well, and every one of them this was like probably 2000, 1999, they all said the same thing, was, lots of blood and lots of nudity, and you'll be fine. So we went off and made this shitty little film called Serial Killer, which was as cheap as possible, as basic as possible, but we just amped up the blood and nudity, and it basically got us our first distribution deal. And after that, I made a promise to myself and everyone involved is that any money we make off these films, they would just get recycled into the next film. And we made a little bit of money off Serial Killer, enough to go make the next film, which was Demon Slaughter, which was an Evil Dead ripoff. And we just kept at it. And I've been blessed enough and lucky enough that 26 years later, we're still making films off of, or making money off of films we made years ago, and it's just been recycled money. And I've never really put a lot of my own money into it. It's just been building over the years. That we're micro budget. We don't have thousands and thousands of dollars, but we have enough to be like, hey, we can go make another film. So it's been a really blessed ride, to say the least. I mean, we're not making $1 million movies, but enough that we got a little following and people kind of dig our micro budget stuff. So that's how we started.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Um, what what app did you guys first start getting your movies put on?
The first few films we actually went through Brain Damage Films, which is I think still in business. I don't know. That was years ago. It was either Brain Damage. You
I
never have
remember
you
those
ever?
guys.
Yeah, that was the first guys that ever picked us up. Darren had Brain Damage, and we made enough money off of it to go make another movie, and then we did a few movies with SRS Cinema, and then we did quite a few films with Wild Eye releasing, and then recently over the last few years, I've kind of went rogue and kind of did our own distribution. Since I mean, you can do it yourself, and it's just another. It's like almost running another business, is getting your movies into distribution and doing it yourself. But it's easier to kind of do it that way because you're cutting out that middleman and kind of doing it yourself. But it's still a full-time job, and it's still very difficult.
Is,
But
is it
that
hard to
was our
get?
first ever.
Is it hard to get your movies on like stuff like Tubi?
I really haven't had a problem with it. It's the waiting. I mean, you're playing by their rules and their wait times, and they might license a movie, but they might sit on it for 8 months before they put it on the channel, and then you got to wait for X amount of months to see any money off of it. So it's really important to have as many films going as possible, and I think that's where we kind of lucked out, is that we have a decent catalog of films out there that these ones are making us some money, and we're just waiting on these next ones to come out to kind of add to the pile. Not that you're going to make a huge amount of money, but I mean, like I said, it was enough to keep the wheels on the bus going here for over the years.
What inspires you? What inspires you like the most?
Back when I was a kid and watching horror movies, I mean, our those horror movies back then, like the characters, the Jasons, Freys, and Pinheads, and Leatherfaces, those people were like my superheroes. Who cares about Marvel comics? These people, these horror comics or characters were always my inspiration, and I just fell in love with the macabre, and that was always the inspiration to kind of follow in the footsteps of filmmakers that were making stuff like that. But during the time when I was in college, I followed a lot of indie filmmakers and their stories, like Eric Stanzi and Todd Sheets. I mean, those guys were icons to me because they were out there making indie films on very low budgets and getting their films out there. So I idolized like a lot of indie filmmakers from back in the day. So, they were big inspiration to me back then. It's still to this day. I mean, filmmaking is kind of grown so much, and everyone with the camera's making a movie, but the old school guys that really came from nothing making these movies and getting them out there, that was just a huge inspiration right there.
Oh yeah, those are like pretty much all my favorite movies.
Oh, absolutely. They don't make them like that anymore, do they?
No, not at all.
No, no. Even yeah. I mean, we shot a lot of horror movies over the years, but like around I want to say like 2009, 2010, I kind of took a break from horror movies and got into documentary filmmaking. But it was still horror related. I mean, we did a few Bigfoot films, and we did one on exorcisms, and we even continued to make some documentaries like about ghost investigating, what have you. So my 2 cents to filmmakers is to try to have as many projects going at once, because you might find that you like doing one more than the other, and one might pay out better than the other. So, always have an open mind of doing different projects. Don't put yourself in that box.
Yeah, so tell me more about the Bigfoot
The
and
Bigfoot
the haunting movies.
and the haunting movies.
Uh, it was about, geez, 2010, around there. Like I said, I was getting burnt out doing the horror movies, and I'm like, it just seemed like everything had been done under the sun, and I'm like, let's try something else. So I was really interested in documentary stuff, so I was doing research on the internet one night about Bigfoot, and I always thought Bigfoot was this West Coast phenomena or thing that happened, but here in Pennsylvania, there was Bigfoot sightings. So I got really into it, and I contacted all these Bigfoot groups in the area and met with a few and got to know everyone. And to this day, I'm good friends with a lot of them. And I spent almost 2 years with them, kind of going out in the woods and squatching and doing all these Bigfoot investigations. And I'm like, this is a great story right here about these people doing it. And then there was a couple of stories that came along that were very intriguing. So, I ended up making Mountain Devil, which took about 3 years to make that, and it did really well. I mean, it did extremely well in streaming for us. So I ended up making two more Mountain Devil movies, which were based on different stories and other Bigfoot investigators, and that's a really great avenue for other. If you're a filmmaker, I mean, if you don't have a lot of money, I mean, documentary filmmaking is pretty cheap. All you need is a camera and someone to interview. You can fill in the other spots later, but I really enjoyed doing it. It was just a different type of filmmaking. So after we finished kind of some of the Mountain Devil stuff, a few of us were just really into ghost hunting. So I'm like, well, we should shoot it and document it. And that one took a lot longer for some reason. I would work on it when we had time or had a really cool investigation, because a lot of times you go on ghost hunts and nothing happens. So it was just like, do we have enough material to make a documentary? So that took almost 10 years to really make, because it was like on and off. And finally last year I was just kind of fed up. I'm like, we got to finish this movie and put it out because I'm tired of dealing with it. And we finally got it done. And the funny part is, as soon as we were done with it, everyone's like, are we going to make a part two? So we've actually been shooting part two here pretty quickly this past year. But like I said, I think, the macabre and weird stuff are great material. One of our other films, Myths and Mutants, is kind of like a documentary slash mockumentary. It's about folklore in Pennsylvania, but then we tell what the folklore is, and then we twist it into this little fictional story, which is kind of fun. And that's what even Myths and Mutants 2 was. It's just these mythical stories out of Pennsylvania and New York, and we just tell the story of what they are, and then just twist them into this fun horror movie for a little bit.
Wow, that sounds cool.
We stay busy.
Oh yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, I started following on your page, and got a lot going on.
Yeah, that's something I've learned over is the marketing part of things, especially with micro budget stuff. It's almost like another full-time job. You got to constantly putting material out so people are following or interested, and just, I mean, we really don't have much of a budget once a film is done. Is like, how do we let people know what's out there? And social media is the only way to go, and you really have to pound the pavement with it and constantly be updating and putting stuff out there just to hopefully someone sees it or watches it or remembers that movie when they're surfing through Tubi or something.
Oh yeah. Do you think Christmas folklore or Halloween folklore is more terrifying?
You know what? Christmas is dark, man. If you look into some of the folklore of Christmas, there's some really crazy stories out there. I mean, I fell in love with the Hans Trap story. And that's just creepy as hell with the whole scarecrow and eating kids. And but there's other folklore from Christmas. It's deeper than Krampus. There's some really worse stuff than Krampus out there, but everyone knows what Krampus is. But yeah, you could do all kinds of films on Christmas folklore. It's a never ending rabbit hole, really.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
What is your motto?
Be grateful. I make these movies on very little budgets. It's a lot of people's time, energy, vision. listen to me all day. And I have a great crew that works really well together and with me. And so, anytime you're doing something where you're barely paying people anything, or they're just volunteering their time, and be extremely humble and grateful always, because these people are here for you for the day. So just be grateful to the film gods that they give you this opportunity. I believe in the film gods. It's a very it's a real thing. I believe. I think they look down upon us and watch how you're making a movie, and they'll guide you through it. And the crazy thing is, you know, people in our group here will make fun of me because I always say about the film gods, but literally a week ago we were shooting in Pittsburgh, and an actor I had that was coming fell through like that day. So we still went to the location, which was this creepy house with a lot of oddities and weird stuff. And the people that ran the place or run the place were they were very characters themselves, and we ended up using them as like a host part for the part of this document or part of this movie we're shooting. So in that moment, I said to myself, the film gods have answered us. So one door closes, another opens, and the film gods will tell you how this is going to play out. So be grateful to the film gods.
Yep. Very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, things fall through all the time, but there's a reason, especially the micro budget. I mean, it's just, you don't know how the day is going to go just because, a lot of people aren't getting paid. They're just there because they want to be there. But life happens, things happen all the time. So be grateful. Just be humble and grateful as much as you can be.
That's my motto. Is there anything else you want to talk about, like in particular?
I've been filmmaking for a long time, and it's changed so much over the years. I mean, I started off on VHS tape and film, and the scenery of the independent film world has just evolved so much over the years. And I wish I could go back to be a younger Ryan at this point in life with everything that these filmmakers have they have such an access to. You can make a movie on your phone. I mean, that's just crazy to me. But I think there's a lot of hate out there for like AI, and I just don't think filmmakers understand how good they have it. I mean, even using AI, no, I'm not a huge fan of a whole AI movie, but I think AI has its place to manipulate and make your vision. I mean, I've used AI just for certain shots, but I just think filmmakers they just don't understand. I wish like a new filmmaker, you give them an 8mm camera and be like, go make a short. Yeah. They would be so grateful after that, And I talk to a lot of young filmmakers that are doing stuff, and they'll ask me, what do you think? And my biggest motto to them is, tell me your story. Come up with something new, something I had never heard of, or something just different. It just seems like a lot of filmmakers will want to reshoot stuff or make a fan base film, which I don't understand that stuff one bit. And like I always tell them, just tell me your story. Horror is the most macabre thing. You can go anywhere with it. What do you have to say? Show me something or tell me something. Now, granted, I'm a victim of that too. Like a lot of my stuff is, you could probably, look back and say you were influenced by Evil Dead or Texas Chainsaw. Well, yeah, them are the films I grew up on, but this is me telling my version of it, or a story that maybe no one's heard. And I think with the Legend Hunter films, the whole idea is to tell myths and legends and folklore that are in our state or local states, and things people never really heard of. And I think that's fresh and new. And that's what I really pinpoint to a lot of younger filmmakers is, tell me your story. Find something fresh, new, something no one's ever heard of. And, do your best. You don't need $1 million to go make a movie. I mean, that'd be nice. But, right. Take what you can and do your best. And, it's going to suck. So you're going to make the next one. Do it a little better. Learn from it. I mean, every film we make, I learn something new. I'm far from perfect. And it's, lack of budget, lack of, a real crew. But, do your best and be grateful to the film gods, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I just babbled on for a good 21 minutes for you.
It was definitely some good information there.
I've been around the block for a while, and things they're easier for filmmakers, but it's also very difficult. I mean, you can make a horror film and it could get lost in the sea of horror movies that are out there. How do you make your movie stand out? You just gotta get creative and tell me something I've never heard.
Kind of like that with podcasts. I'm trying to like do all the weird stuff that maybe other people are afraid to do.
Sure, you just gotta believe in the podcast gods, and they'll direct you in the right way.
Yes, podcast.
But yeah, and just that's my 2 cents on filmmaking.
All right, do you want to say your socials and stuff so that way people can go check out your page?
Sure. I mean, of course, the old Facebook. It's all Ryan Cavalline or Legend Hunter Films. We have a website, which is legendhunterfilms.com. We're on Instagram. Jesus, where else are we? Most of all the movies are streaming somewhere. Tubi, Amazon. Them are the two hot spots, of course. Bloodscreen TV, Paraflex. Just if there's a film we have that you want to see, just Google it and you should find it on streaming somewhere. We're out there. Just put our name and Legend Hunter Films, and you should find us.
I'll also be listing all your socials and where people can find you on the podcast.
So sweet. I appreciate it.
All right, so unless you have anything else to say, I might wrap it up.
I'm good if you're good, unless there's something you want to talk about specific. And I don't know how long do you usually run your shows here. I don't know.
Usually roughly 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, we hit 23. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. This is my first one since a year. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, because I was sick like a year ago, so I took a little bit of a vacation.
Oh, absolutely. It can. Stuff can wear you down. Absolutely.
But all right. I hope you have a great day or night.
I appreciate 1,000 thank yous for having me on, and just send me the goodies when you have it ready, and I'll post on my end.
Yeah, definitely will.
Absolutely. 1,000 thank yous.
You're welcome.